sure. I think it's a girl, but a cowboy that was on TV. And I'm not just saying that because I wear cowboy hats. I think no, God,
No.
the girl that was in the movie with Rob Schneider, The Animal. It was one of them three that won. What does chat say?
Chat says Hatch. Last name Hatch.
That was Richard. That was the Richard guy.
Wait,
Silly
didn't
movie.
Richard Hatch win the
Richard
Apollo
Hatch.
on the original Battlestar
Yeah,
Galactica?
yeah. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure he was.
Oh my God, Alan, you
Is
won.
Richard
You said
Hatch?
Richard.
Yeah.
Richard. Oh
Yeah.
my God, Alan
Richard
comes
Hatch.
in. Wow, Alan comes in with the.
I don't watch the show.
Man, Alan comes in with like what the blackjack. Look at that, you won. Wow. All right, Alan gets 5 points for tonight. On the
GGs.
first thing. Yes. This week, any more comments? Or everybody else is like,
Nope.
Really? Holy moly! Alan just pulled that out of his cat butt.
Yes.
I feel like for whatever our next Kickstarter is, we're going to have a special cat butt reward just for people who watch this show.
Yes.
I don't know whether
Exclusive.
it'll be it, but we'll figure something out.
All right.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the next Kickstarter? Hey,
Espinator.
do you want to talk about the next one? The next one is coming out. It's one of my favorite characters. Besides the last time they tried to resurrect the character. Now, if Chris Mack is still in the house, Chris Mack is the honorary mayor of Twitch. He, I know, is going to love this announcement.
All right. Ben, you want to take the lead?
And why don't you take the lead on
I
this,
hope
brother?
Chris is here.
Oh, sure. So we are going to adapt the original Saint novel, Meet the Tiger, into comic book formats. We're actually doing a little bit of an update for it. We're going to make it more of a set in the modern era take on the Saint Meets the Tiger, which is we went through and we read this. We read this as we're doing research for this, and it was such a fun book. So many kind of the Saint. Like I was never a big Saint fan, but I was reading the book for research, and it was just such a fun book to see. Like all the things that get drawn from the Saint. I'm actually planning to go back and read more of the original novels because apparently there's a nice editor's note in this one that he says he wish he could go back and edit it. But we're really excited. Alan has some extra special news for this one. I don't know if are you releasing that on this this show, Alan?
Or he said it in an email. He better.
Well, I wanted to give him an out. So.
All right, Ben, keep talking for a second because I'm going to go get it, and
Okay.
We'll review it here.
Yeah.
I see a TIE fighter in the background there.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. All right, so-
There's the glorious B-wing, and then over here is the research material for the Saints. Some of the ideas about how the character should look and things like that. So we've been.
That's what I was
working.
going to ask you. Is he going to look like Roger Moore? Is Simon going to look like Roger Moore?
I don't think we can make him look like Roger Moore. I think we might get in trouble.
Oh, look at that! Now, I will give. Oh, the signature's there. I was going to say I would give an Angry Geek sticker or something if anyone could tell me who that artist is.
I know.
But the signature was already shown. So,
I couldn't read it.
it was. That is.
That looks amazing.
Yes.
So we reached out at the end of Baltimore Comic-Con to Mike Grell to ask him if he'd be willing to do, because he's done some James Bond stuff in the past, and James Bond basically owes its existence to the Saint. And so we reached out, and he did a cover for us. Had to sell a lot of plasma, Ben's plasma, not mine. That's his fault for being the younger brother. But yes, Mike Grell is going to do the main cover for the book. So that won't be a add-on. That won't be anything else. That'll be, you put down your $15, you get the Mike Grell cover.
That is just freaking amazing right there. And thank you so much for dropping that on our show. Now, the Kickstarter comes out in June?
In June, yeah. In June, it should be... Ben and I, just to be fully transparent, struggled a little bit with the script because it's such an amazing story, and Leslie Charteris is such an incredible writer that we're like, are we good enough to write this? Or I should say, are we good enough to adapt this? Plus, only Meet the Tiger is in the public domain, so we have to be very careful about the things that we do with it. And that is, so again, and that's always the thing that we have to worry about. Like when we're dealing with public domain characters, we have a retainer for a copyright and a trademark attorney to make sure that we're not violating any laws. Doesn't mean that we won't get sued. It just means that legally we are correct.
All right. Any other research that went into that? I know we have to stick to the guidelines of public domain, and we already established with the attorneys. But do we go back? Do we listen to the radio serial? Do we watch Roger Moore?
I've watched Roger Moore my whole life, so it would be silly not to. I went back and watched the black and white movie that was based on the book because Leslie Charteris said he actually liked the movie better than the original book. I mean, it was his first Saint book, so I'm sure it's an incredible story. I definitely. I think he was being immodest or too hard on himself, but he actually said he liked the movie. So we watched the movie, read the book, and then Ben and I spent 8 hours in a conference room one day eating cold pizza and hashing out exactly what we can do and not do, because you can't. Even though it's going to be an oversized comic book, so it's going to be 44 pages, you can't, 48 by the time you add the cover and everything, you can't fit the whole story in there. So, there are parts of the storyline that probably we had to kind of cut out and so on.
Is it going to be a hardcover? I mean, I can't see this book not being a hardcover.
It's hard to do 44 pages and do that as a hardcover. But what we'll probably do is offer a foil cover or something like that, something that gives you a little more heft to it. So we'll have the main soft cover, and then we'll have a foil cover or something. We work with Comic Impressions out of Florida. They are wonderful, and I'll go to them and say, hey, this is what we have, this is what we want to do. They always have amazing ideas ahead of us.
All right, can you drop another bomb on us besides Mike? Who actually, Mike Grell, wanted to put me in jail during Rhode Island Comic Con. That's a long story. I have to send you the video clip.
I can't wait to see that.
He's like, Lewis, I'm going to put you back in jail or something. I'm not going to bail you out this time. I'll have to send you the clip. It's hilarious. Because they mentioned him as Judge Grell on Arrow. And I brought that up to him. So, long story. So, I'll see if he remembers that. Besides Mike, any other artists? Have you got your team put together? Can you drop a name? Can you let us know who else is working on that book?
So Dan Butcher is going to do the interiors, and Dan does the Vanguard comic, Vanguard UK. He's been doing that for years, and he did our Press Guardian and Clock 1942. So he does a really great job with those kind of pulp stuff. In fact, where's part of the reason we moved into the modern age is he was so sick of having us do comics set in the 20s and 30s and 40s that he wanted to do a modern age comic. So we were happy to do that. Plus, that meant that, so you mentioned the radio show. Part of it is throughout the comic and throughout the original story, the Saint very explicitly whistles. So we found the original music, like the notes for that, so that he can put the notes of him whistling in there, and anybody who knows the original tune can see the notes. Since I haven't figured out how to do one of those, like they have in the Hallmark cards where you open up to a certain page and and it makes a sound. Haven't figured out how to insert one of those in the comics, so you're just gonna have to use your imagination.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, like interactive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Ben, what are you waiting for, dude? Do something. Go ahead.
Well, you
Now
want
I'm
me to
picturing
whistle?
a
That's
pop-up book.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can move it and stuff.
Yeah.
Pop-up book, yes. So, Ben, you said you were not a fan of The Saint. Was it a Val Kilmer movie?
There was, but so I missed the Saint. So like a lot of the stuff that Alan picks up because he's an old, he
Oh!
like
Oh!
he's like, yeah, I love Louis L'Amour westerns, and I'm like, okay, and just I was just like, yeah, those are great, and but those all passed me by. So like I've never read any of the original Saint books, and actually I'm avoiding reading them so that I don't do something like infringe on public getting outside the public domain. Maybe after we finish the comic, I'll go back and read some of the original Saint novels. Now I do go around collecting vintage paperbacks, so like I'll be happy to score a bunch of those on something. But I just never got into it. It wasn't my jam growing up. So this has been a whole new experience for me. It's been a delight to see where James Bond, and in some ways I feel like maybe I'd have to check the dates on this book, but like maybe a little bit of Batman. Like the Saint is very good at everything, so like it's like, oh yes, I am a trained criminologist and a gentleman adventurer, and I can pilot a boat and fly a plane and all this stuff, and just like
Multi-talented.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay, I gotcha.
So Ben is not wrong. I grew up in a house with no cable. Ben had cable basically from the time he was 5. So I had 15 years of no cable before he came around, and that is how I got to watch The Saints, because on our local UHF channel at like 10 o'clock on Friday night or Saturday night, they would play Saint reruns. He had a whole world to go find Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other things, on whatever channel he wanted. So there really is, even within our family, there is a difference between what I experienced growing up and what he experienced.
Yeah, well, and then Alan comes out and he's like, yeah, you know how I'm a huge fan of Johnny Dollar? I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, Johnny Dollar, the radio show. What? I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Your AARP membership is in the mail.
Oh, come on now. See, now that's kind of unfair, because I discovered, we talked about this the last time you guys were on. I discovered Johnny Dollar because of Spotify and Sirius, Sirius XM. That's how I discovered Johnny Dollar, and I fell in love with it. He's based out of Hartford, Connecticut, for crying out loud. So I got to be with Alan on this one. So, yeah, hey, we got to pay another bill. When we come back, we're going to talk about, I want to talk about Buck Rogers, man. We got to get you guys some love for Buck Rogers. But we got to pay a bill, and we'll be right back.
It's the question of the week. Let's dive right in. Riddles and laughter. Where do we begin? Silly little queries, they never grow old. In this game of wits, our stories unfold. Why did the chicken cross? Oh, who knows why? Knock, knock, jokes that make us all sigh.
Hey, it's time for Question of the Week. It's brought to us by Alternate Universe LLC. That's right, Milford and New Haven. I wonder if they got Green Archer comics on their shelf. They probably do, because Eric got any comic you want on his shelf. New, old, golden age, silver age, modern. He's got them. Sophia knows, because she gets comics from Eric.
Hi, Jar Jar.
Yeah. Hey, my brother's in the house. Hey, we can't play your theme song yet. You gotta wait. So anyway, yes, I know. Keith Russell, Jacob Marley himself, but yes, he remembers Roger Moore. So Eric will get you there. If you don't have LCS in your neighborhood, just contact Eric through Instagram, Facebook. He is an admin of the Angry Geek Show Facebook page, and he'll get you those comics flat like Stan Lee did back in the day. Alan knows all about that. Ben doesn't, but Alan does. All right, so question number 1. First, Alan, then Ben, then Sophia, then Chat, then myself. Question number 1. Who would be the worst casting choice for Wonder Woman? Who would be the worst casting choice for Wonder Woman?
These questions should be positive and say who's the best.
No. No, but it's funny if we do the worst.
No, but I don't like making. You know, I don't like being negative.
Alan, who is
Andre
the
the
worst?
Giant.
Oh,